Hey tea heads, this is Don from Mayleaf. In this video, the story of Anji Bai Cha. Welcome to Anji in Zhejiang province in China, the home of one of China's most famous green teas, Anji Bai Cha. The story of Anji Bai Cha is a fascinating one, which actually mirrors the growth of China in recent years. But in my opinion, it also is a story tinged with a little bit of sadness. What we're going to do today is we're going to explain and dive deeper into Anji Bai Cha so that you know more about this tea, get up close and personal with how it's made, and then we're going to be trying to ask the ultimate question: is it worth the extremely high price tag? The story of Anji Bai Cha is actually ancient, despite it being a modern tea. Emperor Huizong, way back in the Song dynasty, apparently wrote that his favorite tea variety was a white sprouting tea plant around this area. Now, everyone thought that that was a legend until recently, the 1930s, supposedly, a farmer discovered a tea plant with those very pale green light sprouting buds. And in the early 80s, the Zhejiang Tea Group started to cultivate from this mother tree. Amazingly, all of the tea plants that you see around me here, stretching for miles and miles around, not only in this province but in other provinces, are all descendants from this one mother plant, which is still alive. The variety is called the Bai Yihao variety, and this is why Anji Bai Cha is called Bai Cha, which means white tea. This is not a white tea, it is a green tea, but because of the fact that the buds have this very pale color to them, it is called Anji white tea. You can see next to me, I'm standing obviously next to a Bai Yihao variety, and you can see that the bud and the first leaf here is generally more pale than your average tea plant. And this is why the picking window for this tea is so short, because as the temperature rises, the leaves will become greener and greener and greener, and the characteristic color and flavor of Anji Bai Cha will no longer be apparent in those later pickings. Supposedly the temperature threshold is 23 degrees, although I'm sure that there's variations there, but anything above that sort of temperature and the plant goes to green. This plant is perfectly suited to this area of Anji. This is its native origin. However, they are producing Anji Bai Cha styled tea in other areas, other provinces of China, not only in Zhejiang, but also in Guizhou, in Sichuan, and other areas to pretty good effect, I have to say. Although Anji is always going to be this tea's ancestral home. I'm surrounded by pickers who are busy, hard at work, because it is prime time now. We're here at the end of March. The picking window for this type of tea is very, very short. They start picking around the 20th to the 25th of March, and they end a month later. You cannot pick Anji Bai Cha after that time because the leaves become too green and the flavor becomes too grassy. They will pick usually about 3 times during that time, because the plant takes about 7 days for it to grow again and have the right picking for this tea. So early spring picking, preferably pre-Qingming before the 4th of April. The picking on Anji Bai Cha is very, very fine. A bud and one leaf, ideally, although a bud and two leaf can just cut it as long as that second leaf is very, very fine. Ideally, you want the bud and the leaf to be very, very similar size and very, very plump. I'm going to try to show you this leaf here. So you can see very similar size in terms of length and very, very plump and got that really lovely light sheen to it. So that's the picking. Again, with this type of tea, with this sort of name and branding, it's very important that the picking is ultra, ultra detailed. We're surrounded by very, very skilled workers that are carefully plucking these buds and leaves and making sure that they get exactly the right pickings for this expensive tea. The sun is getting low and it's 5 o'clock. All of the pickers are coming back in to deliver their precious cargo, and now they have to work throughout the night to process these leaves. If they leave the leaves, then they will start to go red very, very quickly and the tea will be ruined. So there's no rest. They work 24 hours a day, working through the night. And all of this contributes to the price of Anji Bai Cha and all of these high-end teas. The level of detail that they go through means that there is so much labor and it never, ever stops during this very, very short window. Let's go through the processing for Anji Bai Cha. It's relatively simple, so this one isn't going to take too long. Let's go. Be careful your step here. So fresh leaves come in and immediately they go to indoor withering. Indoor withering takes place on these long troughs with these sieves here, and air is pumped through to make sure that there's a good circulation of air underneath. The withering is going to take about 2 hours and they don't touch the leaf, leave it alone. So unlike other teas where they'll move it around, they really want to try to keep this as untouched as possible. After 2 hours of withering, the plant becomes pliable, the leaves become pliable, and then it can go through to the shaching process. Shaching process used to take place traditionally over charcoal woks, but have now been replaced here by these machines here for a more efficient and more uniform shaching process. The shaching process starts here at about 300 degrees Celsius for about 2 minutes, and then after that they turn the temperature down to between 250 and 280 degrees for a further 6 minutes. And during that process, this machine just goes back and forth and shapes the leaf into that long, uniform shape, which is classic for the Anji Bai Cha. Very similar to a Maofeng shape. Very, very simple, straight shaped leaf. No rolling takes place. Again, traditionally, after the shaching process, it would go through a rolling phase to bring all the essential oils up into the air. And that will mean that you're going to get a very rich fragrance when you brew the tea. Unfortunately, in my opinion, that doesn't happen in Anji County anymore. For efficiency's sake, to get the tea to market as quickly as possible, they don't do that anymore. So what happens is that after the shaching process and shaping process has taken place, they will lift up this machine and it will go along this conveyor belt here, and it will come fresh out here. You can see, so this is freshly shaching leaf, beautiful, very, very straight shape. You can see extremely straight, very, very uniform shape. And as is customary, I've got to get my nose in here. Smells very much like lightly baked sweet corn. Very, very nice, slightly toasted note. What they'll do then is that they'll start to load them up into these ovens here. They will not heat it for about 10 minutes. So they'll leave it for about 10 minutes. And what they want to do is just allow some moisture to come back into the leaf, because the outside of the leaf will become very toasted and dry. So they're going to leave it for 10 minutes to cool down, regain some moisture, and then it goes into these ovens, and they oven bake it twice. The first time at 100 degrees for 12 minutes, and the second time at 85 degrees for 10 minutes. After that, the tea is pretty much ready. All they need to do is sort it out, get rid of any fannings, get rid of anything that might look like it's caught too much heat, and that's it, ready to go to market. That's how you make Anji Bai Cha.
This is foreigner worker.
What are you doing?
What?
What are you doing?
I'm sieving through. I'm meant to find the big leaves like that, to take them out. But I don't know what to do when I sieve one like this. I'm still attached to a little bud.
Bucket.
I think so.
Yeah. The leaves are fresh out of the oven. They're looking amazing. Beautiful shape, incredible color, all very, very straight. Nothing singed, nothing dark. The smell, like sweet, like cookie dough and cotton candy mixed with coconut and green bamboo. Very, very, very specific aroma, gorgeous. So what happens next is that it needs to be sorted out. The larger leaves, the lighter leaves need to be sorted out. The best way to do that is through this method, which is used all around the provinces of China. A very skilled process where you flick up and down the leaf, and the lighter ones just fly a bit further, and you can see that all of this stuff gets collected. These are the larger leaves. So it's a really efficient way of sorting, but I have to say, the skill of doing that is much more difficult than it seems. So this lady is doing that. Before that, her grandmother here, 88 years old, 88 years old, before this stage is just sorting out and taking out the large leaves that she can see. You can see that there are generations of tea workers here, 88 years old. She's still flicking through the teas and helping out. Remarkable, admirable. I hope that I'm going to be doing similar things and have the same joie de vivre in my late 80s. As you've just seen, the processing for Anji Bai Cha is very, very particular, and they're using machinery, and it's a little bit sad that they're taking away some of the traditional techniques such as charcoal roasting and rolling the leaf. Don't forget that Anji Bai Cha is a very famous sort of brand of green tea, and there's a particular look that everyone's going for. And I feel that in many ways the processing is designed for making sure that every leaf looks right, and that they can maximize yield by making sure that there aren't any mistakes and having consistency. All good, but my problem is when you start to sacrifice creativity, craftsmanship, and flavor, especially with the rolling. The rolling of the leaf is really, really great at bringing out extra fragrance and extra flavor. We know that. And it's always sad when I see that those kinds of techniques are being sacrificed for the sake of looks and for the sake of consistency of a particular style and shape of leaf. But that's the way it is until consumers out there start to demand for rolled tea and charcoal roasted tea. This will be the trend for Anji Bai Cha. Sitting in the plantations, drinking tea which has literally been freshly made, freshly sorted, put into a glass, filled with water. The leaves look incredible, that distinctive pale, pale yellow-green color that is so alluring and is the definition of Anji Bai Cha. I'm going to try not to allow this surroundings to affect my taste, however hard or impossible that may be. Oh, so sweet. Cotton candy sweet, pineapple. It's got a slight soy milk nuttiness to it, but the predominance is this lingering, really lingering, long aftertaste, huigan sweetness. A little touch of astringency moving to sweetness, and the sweetness is really, really cotton candy, pineapples. Some other note, maybe guava in there as well. Simple, elegant, yet so delicious, so incredibly delicious and refreshing. Wow, what a tea. After tasting that delicious tea, I had to try to get my hands on some of it. Most of the tea is already sold out on pre-order to that inner circle of tea connoisseurs that purchase all the top shelf tea before it could possibly leave the shores of China. This is what we do. This is how we roll. We try to get in there and steal the tea out before it can reach that market. Luckily, we were here on picking day and processing day. This is first flush, the first pickings of the year of top shelf Anji Bai Cha. We managed to negotiate a deal for a small quantity of tea so that you tea heads out there can try some. So now the question, is Anji Bai Cha worth the price tag? Bear in mind that the price tag for this tea, it's sort of starting for top end Anji Bai Cha, you're sort of looking at around $60 per 100 grams of retail. That's your sort of starting point. Anything much lower than that, and I would suggest it's not authentic, either really early pickings or Anji. You know, it's a lot of money to spend on a tea, especially a tea which is so simple, yet the taste is something that you will keep going back to. I've spoken to the producers here and they say that every year there is no problem. They will sell out of this tea. In fact, most of the tea is sold privately to private tea buyers on WeChat groups, which are essentially like closed WhatsApp groups where this inner circle of tea connoisseurs are already bidding and buying tea before they've even tasted it, just on the look. So that you can see the demand for this tea is massive. And that is because the brand Anji Bai Cha is so famed. I'm not saying that these tea lovers are not enjoying the tea and loving the tea, but a lot of it is the brand, the cachet, the ability to say that you have got the authentic top grade Anji Bai Cha sitting in your cupboard or gifting it to your friends. So there is a snob value for sure. There is a very strong brand here, and that is boosting up the price. You can get incredible teas for something similar to that, even lower than this price. But if you've got the money and you love green tea, there is nothing like a super sweet, delicate, and delicious Anji Bai Cha. It is a beautiful tea, incredible. I think it is worth the price if you've got the money and you love those light, fresh, sweet green teas, but don't take your eyes off other teas out there that may not have such a famous brand. That's it, tea heads. Check out our other videos. Fire over any questions, comments, or video ideas. Other than that, I'm Don from Mayleaf. Thank you for being a part of the revelation of true tea. Stay away from those tea bags. Keep drinking the supreme stuff and spread the word, because nobody deserves bad tea. Bye.